Welcome to Extra Time. Quite a scene in the studio here today as Craig Burley unfollows many, many people on Twitter. And enjoying it seems to me.
Just had a little bout there, I don't know why.
What, why you unfollowed people? Why
Well, I went to try and clean it up, and I've decided to take the Gav Marcotti approach.
What's that?
If you're not following me back, get stuffed.
Isn't that a little childish?
Well, I did say it was the Gav Marcotti approach.
So you checked to see if they're following you?
No, I just went down and cleaned a few up. I'm following too many people, man.
Well, it sounds like.
Well, it's not just people, it's
Not just people.
it'll be magazines or newspapers or TV, whatever.
Good.
It's a bit of everything.
Good.
It's therapeutic.
Which central midfield combo?
Sorry, have you got a problem?
Would you have in your team? Lampard, Gerrard, Iniesta, Xavi, De Bruyne, Silva.
I don't know.
That's easy.
Are you?
Come on. Jack, this is easy, isn't it?
It's easy. It's easy.
Gerrard, Lampard.
And they give it multiple choice as well. That's easy multiple choice.
Do you need to?
Nope.
No, we need to answer that.
No, I refuse to answer that question. Godfather.
Who is a bigger loss for Barca?
Chelsea fan.
Losing Iniesta or Xavi?
Bigger loss to who, sorry?
To Barcelona.
Barca.
But Xavi's already gone, isn't he?
Yes, but
Who was the bigger loss?
yes.
I think Iniesta now because now there's neither of them.
Yeah.
You could supplement to a certain extent and have been successful with Iniesta in there. Rakitic did a great job for a while. Now there's neither of them, obviously. That's just Busquets left of that threesome, and he's not going to.
I go for a draw. I think they're both irreplaceable.
What is next for Emery after PSG? Where do you go from PSG? Also, do you think his stock has risen or fallen since joining PSG?
I think his stock has fallen. I can't see a big club taking a chance on Emery. I think he ends up back in Spain, top half of the table team, but I don't see any more than that.
Oh. You follow Unai Emery? Does he follow you back?
I don't know.
Not anymore.
presume he's
Just
not.
doesn't follow him anymore.
I presume he's not on Twitter. No. I have to say, I think I've been really nice on Twitter recently as well. Just my opinion.
No, I don't follow you. That is it, ESPN FC with you, of course.
There's loads of people I want to mute.
Yeah, muting is great. Sunday to Friday, ESPN Plus. Manchester United against Arsenal, the big game in the Premier League this weekend. United going to the tie as favourites, according to the SPI. 44% to take all 3 points from Arsene Wenger's side. This game doesn't quite pack the same punch that we're used to over the years.
No, and Mourinho's tried to backtrack on comments he's made over several years about Arsene Wenger, and I don't think any apology, if there is one, or rhetoric that has changed, is going to change Wenger's mind about Mourinho. As for on the pitch, it's another chance for Mourinho just to finish Wenger off, because he's had the better of him for most of his career. And Arsenal at a stage of the season where they're not going to get in the top four, and they're worried about that big game against Atletico Madrid, which I can't see them winning.
Look, Arsenal at this stage, Arsenal still haven't picked up a single point away from home in 2018. I think I'm right in saying they're the only team in the top 5 divisions in England to have that claim. And you just don't see it getting any better. They've got their gaze firmly focused on Atletico Madrid in the Europa League, and this is just a little more than an inconvenience to Arsenal at this point. I don't see anything but a United win.
Well, thank you very much, boys. Just a reminder, FC with you throughout the week on our new exclusive home, ESPN Plus. Right then, Mr. Burley. Get some predictions. Here's this weekend. Big weekend in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, I heard... Yeah, big... Well, it is for some. I heard Klopp talking today saying, look, well, I've got to be fair to everybody. There's a relegation battle going on which Stoke are in. I won't be leaving players out.
Well, it's not his responsibility, is it?
Well, he reckoned it was. So that's what he was saying. I think he'll rest one or two, but I think they're going to pour more misery on Stoke.
I think it's going to be a draw.
Right, OK. Really?
Yeah, of course. He's going to rest players.
Well, I take the man for his word.
I don't. Burnley-Brighton.
You're excited by this, aren't you?
Best league in the world.
Brighton safe now. Great season from Burnley. I'm going to go for a Burnley win. They can still catch Arsenal.
I'm going for a draw.
Oh, boring.
Crystal Palace, Leicester.
Right. Things haven't been...
They got their flip-flops on, haven't they?
Yeah, things have not been great recently for Claude Puel's team. They haven't played great, and they need the points, and they're at home. And they actually haven't played badly recently, but they've lost some late goals.
Hodgson's done well, isn't he? I'm at Palace as well. Huddersfield, Everton.
Thick and fast, thick and fast. Not out of the relegation battle just yet. He said he's staying next year, or he might be staying. Everton fans don't really want to hear that, but he'll grind. I think he'll grind out a result.
You think so? You think get a result there?
Yes. Oh,
I'll go for
Everton at Huddersfield.
Well, have you seen Everton? I'll go for a draw.
Okay.
Newcastle, West Brom.
Right. Darren Moore's in there, caretaker. They've had a response, got some results. But Benitez has done a great job. They look as if they could be going down. I'm going to go for a Newcastle win at home.
Yeah, I agree.
Albion, who've already done.
Rafa's done good, hasn't he?
Rafa's done great there. Talk about him with the Arsenal job potentially, because obviously Wenger's leaving. I don't think he'll be at Newcastle next year. And those fixtures, please tell me these ones are better.
You want more?
That have just come up.
South Coast Derby, big game at St Mary's, obviously.
Actually, it is. You know, for the people that follow the Premier League
and
not just following big teams, this is a huge game. They, under my old teammate Mark Hughes, they are struggling. They're losing goals. They don't look as if they're going to score many. I'm going to go for a draw.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be a draw as well.
Right.
In Wales...
Which is not going to be enough for them, by the way.
No, they're done. I think they're down. I think those three are down. Swansea, Chelsea.
I think they're going to stay up, but I don't think they're going to win this one against Chelsea, who've been so inconsistent. But
yeah, you wouldn't bet on Chelsea, would you, really?
Not this year, not in terms of consistency.
Meanwhile, West Ham against City. City, of course, chasing that record.
Yeah, I mean, purely for the reason I've got Jesus up front in my fantasy team.
Yep.
And I think they're going to be way too strong for West Ham at home.
I agree. I think this could be 4 or 5, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good.
There we go. Good. United, Arsenal at Old Trafford.
Yeah, can you see them scoring in Madrid against Atleti?
Well, they couldn't score, really, against 10 men, could they?
Can't see it. I can't see them pitching up against his old nemesis, Jose Mourinho. As I say, could be caught by Burnley in the league, not buying the, Arsenal's going, the players are all of a sudden going to start playing from. I think United are going to be too strong for them.
I agree. I think it's going to be comfortable as well, 2 or 3-0.
It's another great game at the bottom.
Spurs, Watford.
Well, actually, it is a big game because they're safe, but it is a big game for him in terms of the top 4. I'm going to go for a Tottenham win.
Yeah.
But there is an outside chance Chelsea can catch them. And I believe... Well, I think Tottenham will win. I was going to say Chelsea have still got to play Tottenham, but I don't think they have.
Good research, good.
I was a lot of games.
Meanwhile, Harry Kane captain in my fantasy team, so therefore...
Did you see Harry Kane was upset again this week? Somebody said something...
Yeah, so there's someone in the FA, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tweeted something after the game.
It didn't seem very much, did it? Unless I've missed...
No, I don't know.
Unless I've missed something.
He's not very
Everybody just seems very offended, which I'm sure people were probably going to be with their predictions.
They are, then. There are your predictions for the weekend.
But I don't care.
Just a reminder...
That's it.
Right, good. Can I just remind people how they can watch us?
You certainly can.
You can watch us Sunday to Friday on our new exclusive home at ESPN+. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen, which can mean only one thing, of course. Best of the week.
You may have noticed, but we all have bad days at the office. So maybe
I'm still waiting for your good day.
He was just
That's it. I've learned my lesson. I am never, ever picking Spurs in a game that matters.
Got over the excitement of Real Madrid Bayern Munich.
It wasn't going to be either the Watford or the Palace manager either. Well, what a game that was.
Have you forgotten who manages them?
Yes.
Why do you even bring it up if you don't know the names?
It's just that kind of weekend. I mean, what can I say? What a weekend it's been.
Oh, we'll see what the old SBI...
I don't care what the SBI says. You can stick the SBI where the sun doesn't shine.
Gab, can you just answer the question? Who is going to win the league?
I have no idea. I'm not Nostradamus, but certainly for Juventus having to play Roma.
We're calling Lovren to naughty names.
Oh, my goodness.
You know you won, right?
Hey, if he
You
walks
won
in here,
5-2.
if he walks in here now, you'd be like, oh, Dejan.
If I have to go to Kiev to make sure he doesn't play, then yes.
But then who plays instead of him?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Let me tell you something. Andres Iniesta was a tremendous talent.
If you're telling me his stats are not sensational, then I'd like to bang my head on a brick wall. You get these chalkboard chairs, do nothing else, not watch the game, but they read it off a sheet of A4 paper.
You know, Napoli have had a tremendous season. And all you people in the studio said,
Because it doesn't matter. They haven't won the league. They're a point behind in case you didn't notice.
I gave you Hungary 1954. Those teams
Losers.
are in history, and they
Losers.
didn't win World Cups.
Shaka, who's very calm in real life,
Right?
on the golf course.
That's not true.
Quick story.
Which camera? That camera. That is not true.
Can we clap for you for the end of extra time? Yeah.
Just clap all the time.
Yeah,
I
that
like it.
Yeah, well done.
ESPN Plus, of course, is
Even if they won't win the title, it'll still be a success. It's a great team, and it's a great manager.
I told you to move on.
I tried.
They mutually agreed between the two of them that just on you go.
Well, that's what
And of
mutually
course,
means. But
yeah, and of course, well, thanks for the education.
Are you two all right today?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you don't like swimming in the sea.
No, I don't like some of the shit. I don't like roller coasters. I definitely don't like bungee jumping or any of that stuff. I'm scared of heights. I'm scared of the water.
Stand back. I'm just going to get off the diving board here.
Oh, I wish we had a video of that.
Oh, it was, I'll tell you what, it was...
What was happening there?
That was you recreating, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was recreating Stevie trying to go off the diving board at a recreational swimming, public swimming place.
A swimming pool. Why don't you just say swimming pool?
All right, swimming pool.
A swimming, please.
A public recreational swimming pool.
It was a swimming
public
pool
swimming, please.
for kids and adults with a diving board that was very slippy, and the big lad, and he's a big old unit, went for a run and slipped before he get to the end, went down, hit his toe and stubbed his toe into it and went straight in the water, and then came out with that look. He said to me, did anybody see it? And I was like, yep.
Yep, everyone saw it.
He still says it was killing them.
Well, there you go. We get being silly. Chelsea going to be looking for a manager. Arsenal looking for a manager.
Well, there's not a lot around, is there, of the big boys are all in jobs, most of them. That's why Alexei Tuchel has been mentioned. He had a reputation that got slightly tarnished at Dortmund to some extent, maybe not all his fault, but certainly some of it. Will Emery walk into a job somewhere? There's a chance that will happen. The other side of the coin is as well, as much as certainly I've bashed Arsene Wenger, I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world if they haven't got an obvious appointment at PSG, whether they don't take Arsene Wenger for a year or two, because I think the freshness of a new club with better players.
Yeah.
I certainly think you could see some short-termism out of Wenger there before he moves upstairs. I saw a report today saying there's potential for him to go straight in as director of football. That could happen after he spends a bit of time there as a manager. Sorry, Gab?
No, I was just going to say, on that point, this is a story the English media has really, really pushed.
Right.
There's a lot of people in France who will tell you that Paris Saint-Germain would love to have Arsene Wenger involved. He owns a flat across the street from the Parc des Princes. But my understanding is that this would not be a great fit for him at all. And it's not something that he's really contemplated thus far. But it would be too different a club from what he's used to at Arsenal. So certainly the people close to him saying, no, it's not an option. Will they change their mind in 3 months when he decides he misses football? Maybe. But they're pretty adamant saying PSG not on the radar screen for him.
Gab, what about Emery's future? I mentioned Arsenal or Chelsea. Could he potentially make a move to either of those clubs?
I don't know, because the thing about Emery is obviously what happened in Europe and obviously not winning the title last year tarnished him. But also, people forget this is a person who was up and coming. Then he went to Russia, had a horrendous time, came back, won things again, rebuilt his reputation. Then he went to PSG. I don't know how he's genuinely viewed. I think it would be a very tough sell in England, certainly, or in the Premier League in the short term. I think he's going to take some time out and then maybe wait for the next big manager to fall and the next job to open up. What I do know is this Paris Saint-Germain job has really taken a lot out of him.
Well, he's taken a lot of silverware back to wherever he'll return to. 2 Super Cups, the Ligue 1, Coupe de France and Coupe de la Liga as well.
Wembley always was so important in terms of the FA Cup finals, semi-finals and traditional games, national team. I think it's beautiful, it has a place to play in that way. In Spain, for example, we don't have that. We always have problems to decide in the FA, the Copa del Rey, the FA Cup, where plays in the national teams always play one day in different places. So it's nice. So the old Wembley and in the new Wembley are fantastic stadiums. So I think it's good. I don't know what's happening in the future about the owners, but I think always Wembley will remain something special for the English football.